Nelly. Oh, look at that. Big highlight on the right side. All right. So, I've said ask me anything. I'm on my iPhone. Take off my seatbelt because I'm not going anywhere. Can I put on my hat so you can recognize me? Stupid hat. There we go. I said dozen eggs, please. Just the usual. Sounds like I'm hiding. Like, this hat is hiding. Got my gold toes on. I wonder if anyone will watch this. Take the hat off. There he is. I never wear the red sweatshirt. Today I'm wearing the red sweatshirt. I'm sitting by the side of the road here in Fujiwara, drinking a coffee from the 7 that I recently realized that I can make hot. I mean, not make hot, make dark. Dark like me. I wonder if I can turn on the radio. A little background music. I've only had like one of these things where anyone ever said anything. Come on, someone must have a question. All right, I'll start. Who do you think you are? I don't know who I think I am. I used to have wanderlust in my 20s. I say that in the middle of a Friday afternoon drinking a coffee, so maybe I still have a bit of wanderlust right now. I used to have a real strong case of wanderlust. Wanderlust for the uninformed, or people that are always, wanting to be where they're not or explore places. I remember my wanderlust was basically between New York City and Arizona, New Mexico. I see a little action in front of this house in front of me. I can flip around the camera and let you see. It's a strange thing, the internet, because often when you're using the internet, you're speaking out into a void and you aren't sure if anyone's listening. But in this particular instance, I can see that there's literally no one listening. This is the digital sound of one-handed clapping. Maybe I could read you a little something. Let's see, what do we got here? What's old Martin reading these days? Well, it's all Japanese, so I can't help you there. Hmm. 3 minutes. I know that Twitter won't send this message over, because if the people on Twitter actually knew that I was just sitting here asking for questions, I'm sure they'd have something to say. Whoa, look at that spider. You inside, buddy? No, you're outside. Jumper? You're not a jumper. Ask me anything. All right. Oh, someone's watching. Oh, shoot. I don't remember how to actually even know if I'm being asked anything. Live chat. All messages are visible. Welcome to live chat. Remember. Oh, hello, you. Where are my glasses? Alright, it's getting lively around here. So let's take a dramatic turn. Someone watching. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Live chat. Okay, hold on. Anita Mitchell. Anita-san. How's it going? I don't know how it's going, man. It's going. I'm sitting in a hot car. I'm a child left in a hot car. My wife is inside of this building that's a tea farmer's building, chatting about tea. How's the coffee? It's like this. When I was younger, I trained myself to like Heineken because I wanted to always be able to enjoy a beer anywhere, although Heineken kind of sucked. 7-Eleven coffee is really good. On another note, I trained myself to like Starbucks coffee, which is really burnt and horrible. So I trained myself to like Starbucks, but 7 coffee, in Japan they call 7-Eleven just, oh no, the camera is front facing. They call 7-Eleven just 7. I trained myself to like 7-Eleven coffee, and today I got a 7 coffee, and there's 2 machines. There's the regular lane and like the fancy. There's 2 boxes, the regular box and the fancy box. And I learned that if you put your regular coffee in the fancy box, you can go light, medium, or strong. So I had the dark one. It's pretty good. It's like Starbucks, but it doesn't have the bitterness of Starbucks. And, with this extraordinarily wild exchange rate, it's like 70 cents or something like that. It's like next to nothing. But coffee's fine. I'm very stressed out at the moment because of some of you that have you tried any of the other convenience store coffees? Yeah, I've tried a lot of the other convenience store coffees, but I don't have a sweet tooth. When I was like 12, I lost my sweet tooth, so I have a bitter tooth. Like I don't like brown alcohol, like the alcohol, the high test alcohol or anything, but I don't have a sweet tooth. You often mention that you're only planning to stay a limited time in Japan. How long do you plan to stay? I'm leaving today. Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. That's a great question. And I can answer that question with a question. I can go all Socratic method on that. I've tried a lot of the convenience store coffees. In general, I refer to the Japanese coffee as chocolate milk because it's really light and sweet for the most part. Japanese coffee that you see in all the cute cans and the vending machines is really light. It's like, I like a medium to bitter coffee, and it's like this. The average coffee that you get in a can, one of those cute cans, is if you took a regular Starbucks coffee and put 25% coffee, 50% milk, and 25% water. So it's like a light kind of a coffee. Oh, the big question. I often mention I'm only going to stay in Japan for a little while, and why is that so? That's one of the videos I was going to make, but here on a live stream is probably a much better way to describe that. I can't drink coffee. Yeah, tea is way better for you. We drink the royal we. I drink this tea. I don't know where it is right now. There's almost always a bottle of it around. But I drink this Ocha, Ito and Ocha all the time. But I like to have the coffee because, it kind of like boosts me up. It gives me a little. I drink a lot of tea. Yeah, I drink a lot of tea too. I'm sitting in front of a farmer's house right now. I would show you around, but I'm not in my part of the Anaka. I'm like in Fujiara, so I'm a little hesitant to pop out with this whole Martin look. Not that anyone would say anything, but it's just not the way you do things in Japan. But it's fascinating. It's real. It's real. Meaning, I see to my right, I see a bunch of plants growing. I see some laundry drying. I see some empty beer boxes. I see mountain yams drying. Over there, there's like doing some tea thing, outdoor sink. Just a lot of like kind of like humble little houses. But let me get to what I was going to say. I often mention why just a while. When I left, I've been coming to Japan for about 14 years on and off. And I've been here for, it'll be 2 years in December. And the reason I say that I don't plan on staying long is that Japan it's a utopia in many, many ways for me. It's the only place where I've really felt free. Like I'm in the middle of nowhere, and not the middle of nowhere. I'm in Fujieda. I'm in like Shara, or where would I be in America? Let's see, East Coasters. I'd be in like uh, the outskirts. Like a half 45 minutes from Philadelphia. I'm sort of like out there a bit, but if I were 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia on some farmer's land, sitting here drinking your coffee in the Friday afternoon, a little part of me would be like, there's someone's going to bother me. The farmer's going to bother me. The police are going to bother me. Someone's going to have something to say. In Japan, like none of that stuff happens. Japan, I'm not like a Lakers fan. I just like when I lived in America, I was I was like a 10 kilogram bigger guy, and so I had a lot of sports clothing because they fit better because sports fans are big fellas. So now I have all this Lakers stuff. I don't want to advertise the Lakers because then someone's going to ask me about something about sports. I've never watched a basketball game. Well, long-winded answer. So, staying in Japan. Japan is, I've been to a lot of countries. Not all of them, half the continents, a bunch of countries. Japan is a country that is more foreign than the other countries. Amongst the foreign countries, Japan is a foreign country. So, let me break that down a little bit. First of all, it's critical to speak Japanese in order to integrate into Japanese society properly. Secondly, let's get bullet points. You would be surprised at how much you can miss familiarity in ways that are completely unexpected. Like, for example, I missed foods that I would never even eat in America. Like, something crappy. Like, I like to use this example instead of like digressing all over the place. Like rice-a-roni. Like in America, I ate rice-a-roni once every other year or something. But over here, I find myself watching your live stream. You look cozy in there with your coffee. Hi, Paprika girl. Konnichiwa. Hello, my love. My love. Hold on. My non-plutonic friend love. I don't know. Everything on the internet's so literal. There's this woman. If anyone doesn't, at Paprika girl is like the best follow on Twitter. If you want to know, have an intelligent take on what's going on Twitter. What's going on in Japan. She's very kind and very knowledgeable and like very positive. Not like positive like Mr. Rogers, but just gives like good neutral information. A lot of people on Twitter have like a lot of hot takes on this and that. She just is like throwing out like really beautiful information all the time. Where was I? Japan being foreign. So there's two things. Japan's very foreign, and Japan is a place. It's easy to miss things that you're accustomed to, which I can get over because I'm a grown-ass man. I can handle it. But back in America, I was like at the top of the middle of making things. I worked for a bunch of fancy companies, all the companies that make things that you know of. And I was the person that would make fun little videos for products that you're familiar with. The things that was like a one-man band, meaning that, like, let's say that Spotify was sponsoring, I don't know who's popular right now. Let's just say Spotify was sponsoring, I don't want to sound like I'm a million years old. Who's 2 Chainz? I've never heard a 2 Chainz song in my life. Spotify was sponsoring 2 Chainz's Northeast tour. Like, I would be the person that would go chat with Spotify and AT&T and get together a microscopic crew and then follow 2 Chainz around and do little interviews with people and make little verite videos on the fly. Or if a big brand was like Coca-Cola was introducing a new soft drink, I might do the smaller ads aimed towards specific demographics. Or if, like, I'm wearing gold toe socks, like these are old American gold toe brand socks, like I might get called in to do I was a person that was an intermediary between creatives and execution. If there is such a video, it just goes away so quickly. Hold on, let me see if I can figure that out. I'm sure that gold toe. How do you make it? I'm so sorry. I can't figure out how to make it come back. Learn more. Someone said something, but I can't do it. I will get better at this. I don't know what you just said, somebody, but it was too fast. So, like, let's say that Gold Toe Socks, which is like a legacy brand in America for old men. Like, I would get called into, no, I'd get called in because Gold Toe wanted to reach a new demographic. Gold Toe Socks is trying to reach 18 to 24-year-old men. So I would go and sit with the people from Gold Toe and the people from an advertising agency and have like this kind of free-form creative conversations about how to get, 20-year-olds Gold Toe Socks. I have like a very specific, strange set of skills. Like I can sit in a room and talk with people who are business people. I can sit in a room and talk with people who are above or beneath me in age, and I can hold a camera and execute a thing. I can interview people. I can edit I can edit. I can also like set up studio lighting. I can also I can do all of the jobs. So I was often someone that sort of like did a lot of the things. That being said, here in Japan, it's difficult for me to make a horizontal move where I can go to Tokyo and take a job working for Apple Computers in Tokyo because of the language barrier. It's just been really tough. When I originally moved to Japan, I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to leave behind the world of advertising and I'm going to go do something really good for the world. I'm going to go teach English in the countryside and I'm just going to have a simpler life. I won't really get into it, but like teaching English in Japan is just, oh man, it's such a sad state of affairs. For anyone watching this that's interested in doing that, it's very much a young man's, it's a young, what it is that it's a job for people who are from tertiary economic regions at this point that speak English. Prior to the yen collapse, the money that you would make teaching English in Japan, which was I love teaching. I'm a dad. I'm really into it. But the money that you would make at a 40-hour-a-week job it'd be 50 hours because you need time to prep to really do it properly. You would end up making like maybe $400 a week or something. So it was paying a poverty rate. And the way it works is that there's a thing called an ALT, an assistant language teacher. So that person works in Congress with the principal English teacher in Japanese public schools. So the ALT is supposed to assist with pronunciation and just so because English is so much different than Japanese, that you just speak the language basically. But the ALT system is a system that's not part. Does your wife? Oh fuck! I can't read them fast enough. I'll figure this out. I can't figure out how to keep them up. My wife? My wife does. My wife is a kind woman, infinite patience. The way the ALT system works is that you're basically the person that speaks native English so that the students can hear native English and improve their speaking skills. But the way the system works is that the ALTs are they're companies that are called black companies. It's very careful because slander is very serious here. Let's see, how do I say this in a non-slanderous way? Some of the companies that are hired by the Board of Education, sometimes the BOE, are sometimes, on occasion, referred to as black companies. So these companies get a contract to, let's say, pay $100 a day, but they keep $40 and pay the ALT $60. And it's just kind of a terrible racket. And what happens is that the students are the ones that end up really getting the short end of the stick, because someone like me, who has, I have a college degree, and I have a lot of real world experience. Someone like me is a grown up. I'm like not here to go to Harajuku. I like Harajuku, and like I love hanging out in Japan, but I'm here just to be a dad and to hang out and to go to the Seven and eat my sushi and just have a very simple life. But someone like me that would be a valued asset to the ALT system, they pay a poverty wage, and the Japanese bureaucratic system is very difficult for someone that's a feral American. Let me explain. I was in ALT for 4 weeks before I resigned. Um, the day would run from maybe 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., sorry, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At 1 p.m., you're done. There's nothing more to do. You've fulfilled your day. But you would need to sit in the teacher's room from 1 to 5 p.m., just staring at the wall. I mean, it's me. It's just like everything else in the world. The problem is always you. The problem is that, oh, and also you'd have no access to a computer. So you would just literally stare at the wall. Um, it was just, I'm not going to get into any more ALT besides that. It just wasn't really a productive thing. So that was my original plan, was be an ALT. So I screwed that, and then I went back to working remotely with American companies and editing up in the Anaka on my massive high-speed internet. And that was like very lucrative, but it's a little strange to be on the other side of the earth experiencing Japan, and yet you're editing like a commercial for like Listerine. Um, it just, it's just not really what I came here for. I came to Japan to have this simpler, meaningful life, and the ALT and teaching was really like the plan, but it was just so naive, that approach towards things. So that didn't work out. So then I went back to my old way of editing, and you're editing, so you're making pretty reasonable amount of money, and especially with the exchange rate, you're making a bunch of money. But then you're just living it's like being trapped in a painting. Like you're living where I live. I'm the only American for as far as I can see. And you you day after day after day. I mean, I've spoken I've spoken to less than 10 Americans in 2 years. Um, I have one lady friend, and I have two guy friends that I've met in real life. My lady friend is like my lifeline to normalcy that I can text. And like my guy friend like is pretty cool, like a regular guy. But I see them very infrequently because I live in a very remote area. So the idea of staying in Japan requires me to either come up with a way. Oh, do you hang out with other dads? No, there are no other dads. I mean, I hang out with other otosans in the Anaka, but it's, you know, my Japanese has been, most of the gaijin that come here that I've spoken with have other gaijins that they interact with. And a little itsy bitsy interactions for a person like me, I'm an experiential learner. Like not I'm practicing again because my lady friend in Japan has been urging me to for months, and I started practicing. Not my wife, but my lady friend. It sounds so like so devious, but literally my friend who is a lady that's like my best friend in Japan urged me to start practicing Japanese. So I started practicing again. Like I can read hiragana, I can read katakana. I have like 10 kanji. But yeah, where I live there are no people to speak with. And so other people that move into Tokyo or move into areas that aren't so desolate have experiences where they begin to pick up little teeny tiny words, like the word like onegai shimasu. Like it's like $1 million word. Like if you go to 7 and you get a coffee and you're like, "Kohi onegaishimasu," like that's like, please, like give it to me. You use onegaishimasu when you give something, onegaishimasu when you receive something. But I was here for like a year before I learned the word onegaishimasu. Now, if I were like in Tokyo or somewhere, that would be like week 2. Like, oh, onegaishimasu. Like, I don't pick up words in experiential places to improve my Japanese, and I'm an experiential learner. I'm doing like practice now because I'm trying to decide if I'm staying here or not. So I'm trying to pick up some more Japanese, but there's no organic picking up of Japanese. So if back to the original statement, if there were other dads, you'd see other dads and you'd go to the izakaya, but there are no izakayas where I live. Like I live in like pure, straight up, just like I say all the time, I just live in a Ghibli movie. Like Totoro, when you see Totoro, when they're taking the truck in and they're like, "Ah, Mason!" Like, I live there. Like, no exaggeration whatsoever. Like, there is no JR train near me. The nearest train is like a steam locomotive, like choo choo, psh. And that stops running at 9 o'clock, and it runs once an hour. And you take that a half an hour to get to a JR. To the uninitiated, the JR is like the it's like the what if Amtrak were highly functioning in America? It's a train that gets you from point A to point B. The JR connects to the Shinkansen, so it gets you on the network. I live like 30 minutes from the JR line. Oh, you will learn a lot of Japanese if you are members of the Community Association or Kodomami, plenty of events. Yeah, I take part in a lot of community events. In my community, we do, let's see, we did the Bondori, Oban. I did the dance, which was fucking spectacular. I participate in like community cleanup where I jump in the ditch and shovel all the poop. I participate in any possible event that comes my way. I need a video of your Obon dance. I do have a video of my Obon dance, but it's on my hard drive that's seized up in the Netherlands somewhere, and B, it has other people in it. There's so much like wild, awesome, dope ass shit that I just can't put up because there's just like hundreds of people in it. And there's a privacy thing in Japan, but B, I mean, where I live, it's just so real. It's like, I mean, how do I say this without sounding like a fucking asshole? It's like an uncontacted tribe. Like, obviously everyone's connected on the internet. Obviously everyone watches TV. We live in the future. But the things that I participate in sometimes, at like my local shrines and temples, are so wild and so real and so beautiful that I would feel greatly hesitant to put them on the internet. Like I threw up a GoPro and like a proper camera footage to cover the Obon, but it's like would feel so invasive to put that on the internet. I recorded the rehearsals, I recorded the practice, I recorded all the stuff. There are a lot of things that I edit and make that just never get as low quality of videos and pictures as I put on. There's a mountain of stuff that never makes it because it just feels wrong to put it on the internet. Like where I live, I'm entrusted. I can go out with my 300 millimeter. Like you could show it on a limited live stream release. It's the thing. Here's the thing. Japanese people are just mad private. Like everyone's got frosted glass up everywhere. Everyone blurs their kids' faces. It's like I could put it in. I don't think that they would ever be able to find it, but it's just not the way. And it's hard to explain that without having been like in America. Shit, my American stuff is like, it's like 60 Minutes. Like, here we are. What are you doing? Hey, what's your name? Wow, you're not wearing any shirt. Wow, maybe we should put us. In Japan, you just don't do that. You just don't throw the camera up in people's faces. Like legally you don't, but it's more like culturally you don't. You just don't put up people's personal stuff. It's just not the way it is. I mean, I put up a good amount, but even like walking around the neighborhood, like I'm just cautious. I do admire your integrity. Oh, no, it's not integrity, man. I'm just a human, man. I'm just, you know what? It's just like I treat other people the way I wish to be treated. And that's what made being the ALT so fucking horrible. Because, like, I mean, to toot my own whistle, like, I was spectacular. Like, I loved the ALT gig. But, the, fuck it, the black companies, not black like me, you know, like Kinta Kunte and Jay-Z, but these black companies are just so despicable. They pay so low. And it's just such a bad scene. The golden rule. Yeah, the golden rule. I mean, I don't believe in anything and I believe in everything. Like, I don't believe that all the religions are wrong, and clearly all the religions can't be right. And being over here in Japan, all these kami, they can't, I mean, everyone can't be wrong, everyone can't be right. Or maybe everyone's wrong. Oh, I'll tell you something funny. My son and I, we invented a religion, and but it's not really a religion. We were driving down the road one day. Isn't this Japanese? I have like just chopsticks laying in the car. We were driving down the road one day, and we saw the sun coming through the clouds. And I was like, Nara-san. Oh, yes, my son's name is Nara. There it is. Please don't steal him. He was named after the city. And then we ended up living here. So now it's like having a kid named Brooklyn and living in Queens. That's another sign. Anyway, Nara-san and I were, Nara is a beautiful city in Japan that I named him after. Anywho, Nara-san and I were driving down the road and we saw the sun coming through the clouds and these big blue skies with these big white clouds, the sunbeams coming through. And we talk a lot about God and religion, but not like, you know, you better believe in Jesus, you're gonna go straight to hell, son. But we talk, you know, have open conversations about, you know, is there a God, is there this, or that. So we came up with this idea of Kevin. So we decided that there was a being named Kevin that makes the beautiful things in the world. So when we see something that's like majestic or beautiful or unexplainable or incredible, we say, oh, look, Kevin. So, and please don't rhyme Kevin with heaven. That we just realized that the other day, how similar they were. They're completely different. Because the thing about Kevin is that Kevin hates to be praised. Kevin has no opinion on what you believe in. Kevin has no rules. Kevin's just in it for the love of the game. Kevin is just about beauty. Like right now I'm looking out at the autumn trees beginning to come and I'm seeing like spider webs forming and bits and pieces that are beautiful. And they're just like, if my boy was here, I'd be like, oh, look, Naraka, look, Kevin. And be like, yep, Kevin. So, and we also now we say, up, Kev. So we'll just say Kev. If we see something really beautiful, we'll be like, oh, there's Kev. Because we, you know, every morning, you know, our house looks out over a tea field, and then it's just an incredible view. And then there's just like a mountain range with more tea fields way up in these rolling green hills. And in the morning, there's this Unkai. Unkai is a sea of clouds. Like it looks like, it doesn't look like, the clouds are laying low on the mountains. So the Unkai is just like, oh, it's just mind-blowingly beautiful. So with like the Unkai, I'll be like, Narsan, I'm like, oh, Kev's out today. Or if we see, Kev could be anywhere. If like, you know, if we're blowing bubbles and like there's a really beautiful bubble with like the iridescence, we might go, ooh, Kev, that's Kev's work. Yeah, but Kev does not like to be talked about. Kev is not in the rules. Kevin is like all of like Judeo-Christianity, not Neo-Roman, the Enlightenment, but without any of the rules or infrastructures. There's no Kevin had nothing to do with Moses bringing down the Ten Commandments. Kevin doesn't want anyone to wear a hijab, but Kevin don't care if you wear a hijab. Kevin doesn't care if you believe. Kevin just loves beauty. So my son and I came up with Kev. So we say Kev. Wow. Should I put on a stupid hat? This is my hat that I often wear, that I like to imagine, because the Japanese don't culturally, just the way I won't aim a video at them doing bondori, they on the inverse won't like stare at me. But sometimes, being like the only guy that looks like me, I just want to hide a bit, and so I have these hats which were at the Daiso, which is like the 100 yen store, which were ladies' hats that came with this like ribbon around them that I took off. But let me get rid of this silly Lakers hat, Lakers shirt. Chotto. Okay. Like just now I said chotto. Like chotto mate means wait a minute. I learned chotto or chotto mate, when did that come into my world? Like, I don't know, 9 months ago? Like, on the way over in the airplane, they should have been like, onegaishimasu, chotto mate, kudasai, toku. Like, these are like basic ass words. But I just don't have like a community that would bring them to me. I don't have the discipline to learn them. So, I'm looking at myself in this hat. How preposterous. This one's stupid looking hat. But the thing is that if you're in the West looking at this, you're like, what is going on there? But over here, like, this part is the part that is like, this part is the invisibility cloak. Like, this part is like the wild part. Now I'm gonna ask the most important question. I think this sweatshirt makes me look fat. I have one of the greatest dad bods of all time, but it's at maximum dad at this point. It's been maximum the exact same way for about a year. Like, when I came here, I lost about 10 kilograms, but like by accident, just because I can't have second and third dinners, because you don't have the option of having second and third dinners in the Inaka. So like accidentally I lost a lot of weight, and then just the Japanese way. Okay, maybe be more clear. The Japanese way. Food portions are smaller. You get a big ass bowl of rice with everything. Snacks are just like not part of the deal. There is no seamless, there is no delivery to where I live. And all portions are kids' portions. So, and what else? There's no, and there's only light beer. There's no IPA. There's none of those thick ass beers. There's just like these crisp, sharp beers. And then a mountain of green tea. So, I've lost a lot of weight quite accidentally in my time here in Japan. Well, I've chatted for like 30 something minutes. It's the longest live stream. There's like half a dozen people, which is like the maximum that have ever watched anything live. Do y'all have any questions? Because I'd love to answer a question if anyone has anything. All the portions are kids' portions. Yeah, all the portions are kids' portions. Yeah, at the 7, which is the 7-Eleven here, they have something called karage balu. Like, it's like I call it Chico Stick, because I'm a fool. Chico Stick is like, there's this band called Nice and Smooth from the 90s. And there's a candy called, I'm not going to digress. There's a candy called Chico Stick. So I call it's karage balu. It's like a skewer with like 4 pieces of chicken on it. And it's about 160, it's about $1, $1.40. And a Chico Stick, a karage balu, karage is fried chicken, balu is ball. They don't have objections here, like ball, it's balu. It's not hot, it's hotto. They have like a rolling edges of things. So karage balu is like a Chico Stick. So you get one at 7-Eleven, and it's like the equivalent of let's see, maybe like almost a child's portion at Chick-fil-A, and that's like what you would get as like a snack. Like you get a karaage ball, like stick. So that's an instance of child-sized food. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna throw on my shoes. Another sad thing that's happened to me is that. Hold on. Oh, what kind of flowers have you seen blooming this month? The Yanaka must be lovely in the autumn. Yeah, it's really true. Interesting point. I didn't understand this. In America, the season is spring. You have tulips, and then summer you have strawberries and flowers, and and then in the fall the leaves change and everything dies. Here in Japan, at least in Shizuoka, the part where I live in, there's this wild thing that happens in that in the summer it's crazy wild hot, and then around this time of year in the fall, the flowers begin to come out. Like you can go to the home center. God, I can't believe I'm saying home center, like Home Depot kind of a thing. I'm saying kind of a thing. You can go to the equivalent of the Home Depot here, and you can find beautiful flowers that you plant now, and they go through the winter. Like this is the season for like flowers and strawberries. So there are all sorts of wild things growing. I'm actually going to grab the camera. Oh, before me going. See, camera, Tokyo, Karage, like these soft A's. My cat is named Panda, but because I only hear Japanese, I end up calling Panda. So I fear. Does it snow there? Nah, it doesn't snow here. I mean, it snows like for a minute, like it's snowing, but nothing sticks. It's subtropic. It doesn't. We really don't get to we don't get a freeze here, so you can grow all year. I just planted, what do you call it? I planted arugula, a bunch of kale, and Chinese cabbage, and daikon. It's funny, like Chinese cabbage and daikon is something that is ubiquitous here. Like everyone plants daikon, everyone plants Chinese cabbage, and I've been coming here for like 14 years or so, visiting every year around this time, and I always see people with these Chinese cabbages. I'm like, why are they growing Chinese cabbage? And this year, I'm almost successfully growing Chinese cabbage, to be determined because of the grasshoppers and all the bugs that eat things here. But my daikon scene is like strong. I've got daikons coming up. I got like three. I planted the daikons in sessions. Arigato. Thank you. So I had planted the daikons in sessions. So the daikons are coming up. Some are like beginning to poke up out of the earth because the daikon like kind of comes above the soil level, so I can see the daikon. Others are just flat, and then some are in the middle. But I've been covering the plants, which is so not my thing, but the bug scene in the Yanaka where I live is bananas, and everyone uses, not everyone, but many people use a broad spectrum pesticide, which is like one of the things that leads to colony collapse, meaning killing all the bees. And it also, it's like banned in the rest of the world. Like Japan loves a pesticide. Like Japanese give no shits about a pesticide. Japan's about like the beautiful produce. Like the produce here is like the most perfect produce you've ever seen. And in my first-hand experience, at least in my prefecture, in the Inaka, when I go to a Michi no Eki, which is like a farmer's market, like you see like award-winning broccoli, award-winning, like I mean from a magazine cover. But unfortunately, it's just taken for granted that you're going to use like Ultron or another broad spectrum pesticide. You know what we're going to do? We're going to jump out of this car because I see that they're growing some stuff right next to me, and we're going to take a peek and see. Gaijin Otosan is gonna be Gaijin Otosan. So, see, I think that I'm throwing on the hat's gonna like help me disappear into the background, like a 4-year-old. I mean, look, I'm like a Housewives of Los Angeles. Look at this. All right, come on, let's take a look around. I don't think I'm gonna need this. I can put it in the camera. Good, but isn't it more real? How you look great? Look at that. It's stupid. Come on. All right, let's take a look around. I don't have any mask on, but there's no one here. This neck of the woods, you're kind of mask free. So yeah, this is where I am. There's an Enos over there. I should turn the camera around so I get the higher resolution. Oh, but then I won't be able to see what you're saying. Well, I won't be able to see what you're saying, but I'm going to turn around because it'll be better res. Hang on. Does that work? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, that works. Konnichiwa! So, this is what I was sitting next to. What we're looking at here is Japanese mountain yams. These are like the must-grow crop of Japan. I even grew one. There's what's his name? Not Zoolander. Armstrong. This is Derek Armstrong, cousin of that's an inside joke with my family. Who's that guy that cheated in the Tour de France? Lance Armstrong. We have a lot of bikers here, so we refer to the bikers as like Derek and Carl Armstrong because they're like really built up and there's no sidewalks here and I'm always afraid I'm going to hit them. But speaking of plants, I mean, look at the combination of colors. Can you stand it? I mean, all of this accidental, beautiful stuff happens. Yeah, this is the flower season. Oh my goodness, look at these guys. And look at these guys. My son and I call these angry men because it looks like guys yelling. Oh yeah, and the mums. Mums are coming out around this time back home in America. Mum scene is pretty strong. Let's see here. Let me wipe off the lens. Oh, and crows. Oh, here someone's got their peanuts. Drying their peanuts. Oh, here's some more mountain yams and sweet potatoes. There's just so many things in Japan that are just like quietly. It's like one big, like a big living picture. These are the way the sidewalks look here. Oh, I'll show you something cool. These guys here, they're like the raccoon dog. I'll tell that story at another point. I want to keep this nice and PG. Yeah, look around. Oh, down there, look, the fields, the trees. I'm ready to. Soon I'll be flying the drone through those bad boys. With any luck? Not with any luck, with any luck. But let's see, they have some seedlings going over here. I have a pretty strong idea of what their seedlings are, but let's take a look. I think that, you know, it's guys you know, so that's okay, right? What do they got going here? I don't know what this is. But yeah, this time of year, people are doing the seedlings. Okay, I'm going to jump back in the car and say goodbye to you beautiful people. Oh, wow, look at that. I see Kevin. Hang on. There's Kevin up there. Hey, look. All right, it's time for me to go. Thanks for joining me. Like, let me just see. Switch it around so I can see what I. All right. Whoa, highlight. Okay. Until we meet again. It's Gaijin no Tosan at Twitter. I don't know. Gaijin no Tosan at Twitter. See you soon. Take care. Oh yeah, you have a wonderful day too. Oh, have a wonderful day too. I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye bye.
What was that?
something will be going on later on. My wife has spoken up, who has declared that she never wants to be on any of the live streams. That's why you saw the panicked look on my face, because she's spoken up
I
after
thought you were
declaring
talking to your mom.
never wanting to be on. Hey, Tom, what's up, dude? That's someone that I know in real life. All right, I'll see y'all soon. This is pretty successful. Okay, bye. Bye. See how long it takes this old man to turn this off. End. Are you sure you want to end? End.